Hey, it's Rudy here. I want to teach you how to safely maintain your driveway so you can avoid being one of the thousands of people who suffer from lower back and other types of injuries every winter. Also, stick to the end and I will share a special treat that will have your back thanking you. I'm going to also teach you what to do before you go out and shovel, how to stay safe while outside, and then what to do when you return inside to stay healthy all winter long. You may be wondering, why are you making a video all about shoveling snow, Rudy? It seems like such a basic topic. Well, the truth is, shoveling is a hard and potentially dangerous task. As I mentioned earlier, there are thousands of people who suffer from lower back injuries as a result of shoveling snow. Shoveling is not the best solution for everyone. If you have a heart condition of any kind or have suffered a heart attack, then you should not shovel. I also recommend that people with low physical activity or those who rarely exercise avoid shoveling. The stress shoveling can put on your heart is very real, and the sudden stress on an inactive person's heart could quickly cause a serious problem. So let's get to the actual tips on how to properly spend your time shoveling. First off, if you frequently drive in and out of your driveway, it's best to remove any snow before driving over it. I know it's a challenge as sometimes we are in a rush, especially before going to work, but hard compacted tire tracks are going to be more difficult and time consuming to scrape off. These compacted sections on your driveway are actually a challenge to most machines. So imagine the struggle your body will have if you're trying to scrape and shovel them away. If there is a fresh snowfall in the morning, take a few minutes to at least shovel a path for your tires before you drive over it, if you can't clean the whole driveway. The next tip is pushing snow is easier than shoveling. It may sound obvious, but you'd be surprised at how many injuries could be prevented if more people push snow rather than shoveling. You might even want to consider investing in an ergonomic, smaller shovel, which will make lifting snow easier if you can't push it all and need to shovel it. Alright, so let's talk about what you can do to prepare before you go outside. First, you will want to avoid caffeine and heavy meals just before shoveling, because both of these could add stress to your heart. Next, you will want to dress warm. Wear good socks, insulated and waterproof boots, and a warm hat that covers your ears. Also wear gloves that aren't too bulky so that you can get a good grip on your shovel. I recommend you spend a quick 1 or 2 minutes walking so you get your heart rate up and stretch before you head outside. It will actually make the shoveling easier. Lastly, I like to bring a bottle with hot tea with me, as a hot drink works wonders in the cold. Cool, so next I want to give you some great tips for when you go outside. When it comes to choosing the best shovel, I recommend you use a plastic shovel over a metal shovel. Plastic shovels are lighter and therefore they will be easier to use. One lesson I learned after doing this for hundreds of homeowners over the past few years is to spray a silicone lubricant on the blade of the shovel. This little secret will make the snow slide right off your shovel and prevent it from sticking. When snow is wet and heavy, you are more likely to hurt your back or body by having snow stuck on your shovel. You don't need to carry more weight than you should. Now, this next tip is something that has been made common in movies, and that is, do not throw snow over your shoulder. I have a feeling you see movie stars do this because in Hollywood they use fake snow, which is much lighter than our authentic Canadian snow. The safest way to shovel is to actually push the snow away from you. The next tip has to do with your posture. To shovel safely, you must bend your legs slightly at the knee, letting your thigh muscles do most of the pushing or lifting. This will reduce strain on the heart and back. Now, I know you hate spending more time than is needed outside. So this next tip may be controversial. I recommend you use a shovel with a smaller blade rather than a huge, large one. Don't try to be Superman or Superwoman. This smaller blade will limit the weight of snow that you will be pushing and therefore limit your chances for injury. Another pro tip is that if you happen to be at home during the start of a heavy snowfall, consider heading out to shovel after just a few inches. Many people want to wait for it to stop snowing, so they only have to go out once. But by going out a few times, it will actually take less time in total than going to shovel it the entire load in one go. Lastly, when you're outside, if you feel a little dizzy, weak, or that you can't catch your breath, immediately stop shoveling. Alright, so now that we've talked about what to do while outside, I want to give you a few key tips for when you return inside. The first thing you should do upon entering your house is to rehydrate. You'll likely work up a sweat from exercise, so replenish your muscles and your body. Now, I know you probably feel a little bit cold coming in again, so one of the best ways to warm yourself up is with a protein-filled soup, like a chicken noodle soup or a vegetable lentil soup. Not only will you get warmed up quickly, but these types of soups will return your energy level back to normal. Lastly, stretch your body again. I know, you stretch before going out, but it's just as important to stretch upon completion as well. It's no different than going to the gym. You should stretch as a way to cool your muscles down. Shoveling is a serious physical exercise and requires you taking good care of your body. Follow these snow shoveling tips for easy and safe shoveling. If snow shoveling is not for you, or you just don't have the time or energy to tackle it, then consider hiring a snow removal service to do it. My team and I actually spend most of our winters enjoying the snow outside, and I would love to help make your life easier this winter. If you live in Spruce Grove, Stony Plain, or certain parts of Edmonton and want to work with the best, I actually have a couple of openings left for this winter season. Make sure you call me now before it's too late and I'm all booked up. This happens every winter. Feel free to call me at 780-218-8134 or email me at info@euroyardservice.com, and I would love to see if you will be a good fit for my team.